Hi, this is Remco Rinkum at the 45th Annual World Series of Poker in the $10,000 horse event. Last break of the day, Richard Sklar still doing really well, getting closer and closer to the money. But right now, we want to hear some Ivey stories. Richard told us he knows a few good ones, so it's kind of interesting to see what he has to say. Richard, what are your stories?
Where are we going first? Outside the card room, inside the card room, the golf course, the restaurant, San Diego. Where are we going first?
Let's start. Let's start at the golf course.
Well, when I first came to town in '06, the second day I was here, Mike Sexton puts up the money for me, and he calls me and says, "We have a game today," and it was Phil Ivey and his friend Matt against Mike Sexton and me, best ball. Me and Matt were on the back tees at Shadow Creek, and Phil Ivey and Mike were on the front tees at Shadow Creek, and we were playing best ball, not scramble, but best ball. And I said, Mike, I'm like 2 shots better than Matt, and you're like 12 or 15 shots better than Phil. We can't lose this. I said, I'm not going to try that hard. I said, I'm going to just win a little. So now I'm on the range warming up, and Mike comes up to me and says, you better try hard. We're playing for $40,000 a hole. Every hole. I thought we were playing for like 5,000 Nassau where you could win or lose 25,000. And Mike says, we're playing 40,000 every hole. So I tried that day, and shot well, and I birdied 1 and 2 to start off 80,000 winner when we were 20 minutes into the game, and knocked in a nice putt on 2, and that's my first Phil Ivey story. For 240,000, we beat him.
Does he still give you golf action?
Oh, plenty of golf action, but he improved 20 shots since then. Phil improved 20 shots in 1 year from a coach and caddy he had, and now it's hard to match up with Phil because he still pretends like he's like a 100 shooter when he's about a. I'm not gonna give up when he shoots. I don't want to ruin it for him.
But Phil's gotten a lot better at golf, I see. And then also, you're making some bets in the poker game. He gave you 3-1 on a must final table bet last year, I believe. And
no, last week.
And now it's up to 4-1.
Now he gave me a 4-1, 60,000, 15,000. Last longer, must finish at the final table.
So there's a lot more. There's a lot more at stake for you than for the other players.
An extra 60,000, yeah. I just have to make what, 9? The ninth place is it?
Official final table is 8th place.
Yeah. 8. Okay, there's 32 left, and gonna make it to 8, and I pick up an extra 60,000 from Phil. Yes.
But you also said you had some poker stories from inside the card room. What's your favorite?
Okay, we were down at La Costa. Excuse me. We were down at La Costa in San Diego, like 10 of us playing golf against each other. Bobby Baldwin was there. Doyle was there. Mike Sexton, me, Dewey, David Gray. There was more too. I can't remember everybody. It was a while back. It was when they were playing online. Online was allowed. And we went in Phil's suite at night, that one night, and he's playing like 4 games at once, and giant games, like 1,002 and 2 and 400, no limit. And I'm watching him play the Omaha. He was playing like 1,000, 2,000 Omaha. And Mike is standing, and we're standing behind him. And I'm watching these hand seats playing like this, and I look at Mike and say, this guy can't play a little bit. He's horrible. And Mike started laughing, right? Said he's the biggest online winner there is. And I said, Phil, I will book every Omaha hand that you're in before the flop. Whatever hand I want to book, I'll book him. Whatever he does on the internet, I pay you, win or lose. And he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. I wanted to do it. Me and Mike were going to split it, but he wouldn't do it. And I said, this guy plays Omaha horrible. Meanwhile, he wins millions on the internet. Let me say this about Phil Ivey. I've been gambling, excuse me, since I'm 17. And I'm going to give up my age now. I'm 61. And lucky to be healthy and play golf, for money and against these guys and have fun. Phil Ivey, in 44 years that I've been gambling, I've seen it all. The highest of high rollers go broke. The lowest of low rollers try to hang in there. Phil Ivey is by far the classiest, gambler I've met in 44 years. I've met a lot of class guys, but he is the highest echelon of class gambler. And you people see him at the poker table where he's stoic and the eyes are like this, and moving around, and he hardly talks and plays. Phil Ivey away from the poker room, on the golf course, at the restaurants when we're eating, or he's the life of the party. There was one time we were on the driving range, and me and Mike and a bunch of guys, and we're all warming up, and Phil Ivey swings, and then he stops, and he turns to me like this and says, and Mike and everybody else, he says, "All right, all you big-time gamblers, I'm not playing unless it's for at least $100,000 a hole." Now, we said, no, we'll only play for $50,000. So, but that's Phil Ivey. Phil Ivey is the class gambler of class.